Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to start looking at market data. How do we get the live data from the FYERS API? And as you can see here on the left side, we have three options: quotes, market depth, and the historical data. So obviously quotes means the current LTP. Market depth would mean that we will be able to get a range of bid and ask prices, and historical data essentially means that we're looking for previous data. So that can be based on different time frames, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, up to you. So let us go through the quotes file first. So in this, in the params, basically I will have to enter the symbol for which I want to get the data. And in this example, I've used NSE SBN. So, and make sure that you're writing the correct symbol, which is SBN-EQ. So this is how I will be getting the data for this particular symbol. Then you have to click on headers, and this again you will have to put in your ID, app ID, as well as the access token. I've already added it for the day. And let's run the code. So I'm going to run the code now. And once you run it, at the bottom you will get this result. Also, before I talk about the results, very important, in this case, make sure that this is your URL at the top. In case the URL is a little different, so basically you don't have to worry about the second part here after the question mark, but before the question mark, make sure that this is how it looks like. So it's https://api-t1.fyers.in/data/quotes. This is very important. Like I said, if you're not using this one, it will not work. So now let's go through the results. So as if we see the results now, essentially what we are able to get is the information about SBIN and the current bid and ask price. So the current bid and ask price is about 694.55 and 694.35. It is also giving us the change. So how much has been the change? Again, if you want to know what all are these columns or what are these things, you can also look at the documentation. So let's go to the documentation. So we can just write FYERS documentation here. And once you get to the FYERS documentation, we will be using the V3 documentation, and this is where you can search for quotes. And as you can see here, this is all the information that we are getting. So we are getting the change value, the percentage change from previous market close. We are getting the last traded price, which is the LTP. We're also getting the bid and ask price, the spread, the today's opening price, the highest price of the day, the lowest price of the day. So everything which has been mentioned here in the quotes is what we will be getting in backend as well. So now you can go through this in more detail, but let's look at the results now. So you can see here that we are getting the symbol, we are getting the exchange, we are getting the token, the highest price. Like I said, this is the highest price of the day. So it's 695.75. Let's check it out. So if we go to SBIN and if you look at the highest price, you can see the highest price is 695.75. Similarly, the lowest price is 680, which is, as you can see here, 680. The current LTP is 694.55. It is currently showing 694.5, but because the market is moving, but probably when we ran it, it was 694.55. This is the today's opening price, and so on and so forth. So as you can clearly see, all the information that we want for a particular symbol, we are able to get from the quotes. Very importantly, you're also getting the ATP. ATP is the average trading price, which usually I've not seen being offered by a lot of other brokers. So this gives you a great idea of what has been the average price of the day and the volumes, the total volume which has been traded for the day. In case you want to check whether the volume is correct, you can come here. Let me just minimize this, and you can probably make it on a daily time frame. And then we can add our volumes. So let's add volumes. And you can see here, it is showing today's volume as 8.96 million, which is almost similar. When I ran it, it was probably 8.8 million. So as we can see, we are getting the quotes perfectly. Now I will be showing you the next one, going for the market depth. So again, before I run it, I will have to paste my app ID. I'm saving it again. Before you run it, make sure that this is your URL, https://api-t1.fyers.in/data/depth, and then that's it. You don't have to worry about the next part. Let's run it and see what happens. This might take a little extra time because it's trying to get the depth, but we have got the depth. Now, what does the depth show? Again, before you look at the results here, you can check it out on the documentation. So let's open the documentation and we can just do Control P and depth. And we can see here that in the market depth, this is what we will get. So this is the response attributes. We will get the total buying quantity, the total selling quantity, the bid prices and the ask prices, and it's an array. That means you will get a range of bid and ask prices. Again, we will get the open, high, low, close of the day, the current LTP. We will also get the previous LTP. This is the current LTP. We are again getting the total volumes, the average traded price, the circuit price also of that particular symbol. And in case you're trading it or you're using the FNO, then you will also have to put the you will also get the expiry date and the open interest as well. So let's go back. And again, before we run, let's look at the parameters. So in this, I'm using again SBIN and OHLC flag. I'm putting it as 1. Now, what does this 1 mean? So if you want to understand what is the meaning of 1, you can just quickly scroll up and you can see here that if I put it at 1, I will get the open, high, low, closing volume quantity as well. So that is what 1 means. So since I've put it as 1 here, that is what I'm getting. So now we can look at the results now that we have a fair understanding. So you can see here that this is the total quantity, the total selling quantity so far. Again, if you want to verify it, you can verify it very easily by, let's say if you click on the buy here, you should be able to get the total market depth. So once we click on the market depth, you can see that the total buying quantity is 619 and the total selling quantity is 548, very similar to what was being shown here. And then we can see here the the best asks, the best bids, and then we have the OHLC and all the other things. The circuit values are also given. Since it's not an FNO, we are not getting anything in the OI, but in case we use FNO, we will also get values here. So again, as you can see, this is working perfectly. Let me go back then and let's try the third one. Let's try the third one, which is historical data. So in the case of historical data, again, you have to make sure that you're putting the correct URL, which is https://api-t1.files.in/data/history. So make sure that your data is correct, the URL is correct. Then let's look at the params. In this, again, I'm putting the symbol. The resolution means the time frame. Again, if you want to look at the different resolutions, let's look at the documentation. Let's look at history. And we can check out the different resolutions which are being offered here. So you can see these are the different resolutions. We can put 5S for 5-second resolution, 10S for 10-second resolution, 15S for 15-second resolution, so on and so forth. In case you want a daily data, you can put D. In this example, I've used 30. That means I'm getting a 30-minute resolution. Once I've got my resolution, I'm putting the date format. Now, date format, again, if you see here, there are two kinds of date format. The first one is if you put 0, in that case you will have to put epoch values. Now what is epoch value? I will just show you. It's something like this. It's harder to use. So what we will be using is we are using 1 and then we will have to input the range from and range to in YYYYMMDD format. So that is what I have mentioned here. This is the year 1st January and then this is to 2nd February. And continuous flag, this is used in case of futures and options if I want continuous data. So again, I've put in all my inputs here. In the headers, I will have to put in my app ID and access token. Control S for save. Let's run the code. And we have got the results. So we have got the results. So let us look how the results would look like. The results would actually have just the candles. It will have the epoch time and then the open, high, low, close. So basically now we're getting candle data along with the volumes. So what I'm going to do is, this is the epoch. So let's try to understand what this epoch means. So I'm copying this epoch value. You can go to this website called epochconverter.com and I'm going to paste it here. Once I paste it and once I run it, you can see that the value is in my time zone. It's 1st January 2025, which is what I wanted, the 915 value. So as you can clearly see that this epoch value is the correct value because it is giving me the first candle data of 1st January 2025. Now, why is it 1st January 2025? Because that is my starting date here. If I want to change this here, let's say I make it 10th and I run it again. Let's save it and run it again. You will see the epoch value will change, and we can put it here, and you can see now it is giving 10th January data. So this is correct data. We are getting the date time, we are getting the open, high, low, close, and we are also getting the volumes in an array format. And again, once you have this data, you can copy it and do all kinds of your analysis. You can in fact save these files and test it out also. You can also convert them into other formats in case you want to read them in a better manner. So as you can see, clearly the market data is very important and you can test out your strategies using this. So again, thanks for joining. I will see you in the next video.